Welcome to Nerds at Church, a podcast about nerdery and the Bible. I'm Pastor Kay, and I use pronouns like she and her.
And I'm Pastor Emily, and my pronouns are they, them, theirs. In this special Minisode, we'll discuss what goes into making this podcast and how you can support us. The first step of the podcast is preparation. So, in that, I figure out what all of the verses are and find links to them for us and make the initial preparation doc with all of the links and some of the template stuff that we do. It's a lot of copy and pasting.
Yes. And then after that, I put in the summaries that we use for each of the readings. I am mostly borrowing those from the summaries that we used when we were HP at church, but we do still edit them as we go. And every so often we find a Sunday or a holiday that we didn't do as HP at church, and then I get to write new ones. And I try to keep those simple and short.
Mm-hmm. And I take care of official communications that we have with guests. We'll each reach out to people depending on who knows who for an initial reach out, and then I'll send the emails with all of the information for our guests. If you're interested in being a guest on the podcast, you should definitely let us know. Just email us at nerdsatchurch@gmail.com with your areas of nerdery or what you are excited to talk about.
Yeah. And then comes the stage of recording and editing. So generally, I edit our episodes on Sunday afternoon, but we might record any day of the week, although lately I think it's been a lot on Fridays. Our method of recording up until now has been using the program Audacity, which is free. And with that, I get each person's recording together and sync them, which can be a pretty meticulous process. Mm-hmm. And then I change the sound levels so that we all have about the same volume level, which always varies a bit. And then after that, I can add the theme music to the start and start editing the actual episode, taking out background noise and mistakes and so on. And that's definitely the longest stage of the editing process.
Also, the syncing part is especially complicated because Kay and I figured out a while back that we time travel. So one of us speeds up and the other one slows down during the course of the episode, which is basically due to our computers being, in fact, different computers.
Yes. We are now, for our recording process, switching to the website called riverside.fm, which does the syncing and the sound balancing automatically, which I love and makes my life so much easier. I still do the actual editing in Audacity, but for a moderate monthly fee, this program saves us a lot of time. And then once the episode is edited, I upload it to Anchor and put the episode description and the logo in, and then schedule the episode to go up and be public.
And then I take over. So we both kind of work together to make sure our episode descriptions have all of the links that we need for you to be able to find stuff we talk about in the episode, including a link to the Bible passages, but also links to other things that we talk about, or links to our guests so that you can find and follow them.
And should we ever forget to put a link in the episode description that maybe we say that we're going to put it in and then you notice it's not there, please tell us. We would love to fix it later. That is fine. That is not that hard to do.
Yes,
but
definitely.
We are always happy to give you those links. We're just not perfect.
Yep. And it's pretty easy for us to go back in and update it or edit it to fix it.
Yeah.
And then I do the publicity. So most of what you see on our Facebook and Twitter pages, which you can find both at Nerds at Church, is done by me. We usually post our episodes so that people know that they're up on Tuesday, and we'll let you know if there's a special guest and what our deep dives are, as well as any content notifications, which are also recorded as part of our episode and in our episode descriptions, just to make sure everybody is able to find it that needs to. And then we also post on the day of to remind you that, in fact, the episode came out early in anticipation of a particular day. We'll have usually a picture and then a question for engagement. So you are always welcome to respond to anything we post on social media, but especially on the day of, we encourage you to answer the questions that we ask, or to share it with your community, or start a conversation with a friend about that question. Sometimes they're simple, like, what's your favorite book of the Bible? And sometimes they're a lot deeper, like, when have you learned a hard thing?
Yeah.
And all of this is made possible by our supporters and by folks who help give us money. Some of the initial costs have been made possible through a grant from Extraordinary Lutheran Ministries, for which we are very grateful. And the rest of the money comes through ads that you'll hear in our episodes. Usually it's just one ad. And then also through our Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/nerdsatchurch. So if you are a patron on Patreon, you get some random bonuses, like the recipes for our Jesus Loves You series this past August. Plus, if you join at the $5 tier, which is the Life, the Universe, and Nerds Uncut tier, you get a thank you at the end of an episode quarterly, plus you get exclusive access to uncut guest episodes.
And our second tier is called Who, Which, and What's It? And that includes a quarterly live Q&A with us, Emily and Kay. And also, we invite you on a yearly basis to pick a Bible passage from 3 to 15 verses long, and we will do some research and send you some Nerds at Church-like insights.
Mm-hmm. So make sure you check those out and join us on Patreon as one of our patrons. Also, now is the perfect time to be looking at our merch store, which is finally up and live, and we are very excited about it.
We've got a couple designs made in collaboration with us by the ever-creative Pace Warfield May of our sister podcast, Horror Nerds at Church, including a cute Christmas one, as well as liturgically appropriate face masks and more.
Go to bit.ly/nerdsatchurchmerch to check out our merch. We're sharing the site with Horror Nerds at Church, so you can check out their merch as well.
By the way, we re-recorded and updated our intro episode for better sound quality, so feel free to listen to that again. We've updated some of our nerdy interests, and you can suggest it to your friends who might be thinking about listening to us, so that'll give them a good overview.
Plus, you get a reminder of the church calendar as it starts over, which is always a good deep dive. And we included the colors on the church calendar this time because I remembered and didn't forget in the preparation part. Hashtag making sausage. Thanks for joining us. This podcast has been produced by us, Emily Ewing and Kay Roloff. For more fun, check us out on Twitter and Facebook at Nerds at Church, or contact us at nerdsatchurch@gmail.com.
Also, if you like what you've heard, rate us or leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Facebook, or wherever you catch your podcasts. If you want access to our uncut guest episodes and interviews, live Q&As, and more, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/nerdsatchurch. As the ancient Christians said, Pax Vobiscum.